Josh Simmons checking into the game for him.
I like the contrast of these uniforms tonight. Gold helmets, but all blue versus all white.
It's confusing, Tyler.
Welcome, folks. LaSalle, Salesianum. There's 4 minutes and 39 seconds left to play in the first quarter. We do have the first portion of the game streamed. It is under a different link. What we'll do is we'll share that after the contest is over. We'll combine it as well and make sure the full stream is out there. But as it stands right now, Josh Simmons just checked into the game. Azir Nelson had a couple of carries, the primary tailback. First time in 2 contests that Josh Simmons is on to play for LaSalle here. Let's go through those starters for the LaSalle Explorers. Offensively, Gavin Sidwar at quarterback with Azir Nelson, the primary tailback, Josh Simmons as the reserve tailback. Joey O'Brien, Owen Johnson, Chima Agist will get some playing time at the wide receiver position. Jimmy Mahoney, J.P. Oates at the tight end position, and across the front, Grayson McHugh, Chris Berneski, Jacob Jackson, Andrew Sorge, and Danny Lawyer. Sidwar in the shotgun, he hands it off, and you got a Salesianum team that's been unbelievable thus far in the early stages. Nose guard Justin McGill, who plays both ways, 5'10", 290 pounds. He's joined on the edges by Ryan Van Kerkhoven and Phil Tijan Kamara. Defensive ends in the odd man front. Odell Teal in the linebacking core, Kevin McConaughey and Robin Trubiano, who made a big play early in the contest. Jay Burrell, Matt Castleverra, Yaheem Smith, Austin Thomas, and Jet Healy will play in the nickel defensive backfield. 0-0, 3:44 and ticking to go in this one. Mahoney splits out wide. Sidwar, another good job pressuring, so he'll throw it up one-on-one, and it's great defense on the edge. They really like number 5, Jay Burrell. He actually plays on the same 7-on-7 team as Joey O'Brien and Gavin Sidwar, so how interesting there to see a Sidwar ball intended for Joey O'Brien and defended by Jay Burrell.
Yeah, nice throw by Sidwar there, but well defended. It's a windy night out here, too. Wind kind of coming right at us right now.
Burrell with offers from Penn, Lafayette, and others.
And that's just a trend for these games, Bob. I feel like everyone's committed everywhere. It's crazy.
There's a lot of talent. 2 of the best teams in their respective states, and this is Owen Johnson. Johnson gets close, but on 3rd and 11, that'll be 4th and about 3. Brett Gordon looks at the time, looks at the yardage. The head coach of the LaSalle Explorers waits for a moment, and here comes that special teams unit. Second punt of the night for LaSalle upcoming.
Yeah, that was a really nicely designed screen, but tough 3rd and long call there. Tough to make up that yardage.
Something to know, usually on 4th and short, they might have Gavin Sidwar out there looking like he's going to make a pass or a run, and he is actually the punter on that play. This time they go with Chris Heck, their designated punter.
It's a good punt there too, Jack, inside the 25-yard line. Jack McGuire, LaSalle student, Pat Burkhead, fellow LaSalle student, is with us, and as we overlook the Wilmington skyline, I tell you what, there is a plane coming right at us. I guess flying into either Philadelphia International or Wilmington or
that looks like a
Abyssinian Stadium.
I'm not a plane guy. That looks like a C-130, though.
It might be taken off.
Yeah, maybe so. This is Brady Knapp, terrific baseball player for Salesianum. Jack, you mentioned as we were coming on to the contest, 2 straight games where LaSalle's facing an opposing quarterback that is a big-time baseball player.
Yeah, Jackson Melconian last week for Malvern. I felt like he was scrambling on every play.
The 2 running backs we'll see tonight for Salesianum, Jasir Gaiman, 5'7", 165, 3rd-year starter for the program. Gene Deladon describes him as a scat-back type guy. E.J. Cotton, sophomore, 5'10", 195, a big bruiser. And he described him in a similar style to Zeke Bates, who LaSalle saw last week against Malvern Prep, and who Salesianum will see in 2 weeks. So a little bit of a love triangle here between these three teams. Or my English teacher would say among those three teams, of course, as Nab takes the shotgun snap. Now he steps up. He can move a little bit, and he'll get to the marker. Knew exactly where he needed to get to. Got 9 when he needed 7 and a first down.
Yeah, last week we saw Jackson Melkonian make some really acrobatic throws that paid off sometimes, and other times he took some big hits. So it'll be interesting to see if Brady Nab does any type of jump throws or sidearm.
Yeah, and Pat, he's already taken one big hit from Jamel Williams, so I don't know if we'll see as acrobatic plays.
LaSalle strings out that run defensively. Nice job. All across the board. Jimmy Mahoney comes out of the defensive secondary to make a play.
Jimmy Mahoney's been a huge bright spot for the team this year. He had a kick return touchdown last week, and now he's all over the field on defense.
More importantly, a Bob Long Sports post-game interview as well.
That's right. That's right. Maybe not the game that folks were expecting. It's Salesianum's second offensive possession. They had some success. They got into field goal range, missed a 35-yarder, short and to the right. LaSalle has had no success offensively to this point. And here comes Salesianum motoring down the field. Nice throw and catch. Sean Lewis, the senior wide receiver, wasn't listed amongst the 4 deep at the wide receiver position, but in there to sit down in coverage. It'll be 3rd down and manageable. Call it a long 3.
And Bob, you mentioned Chima Agis earlier. It looks like he might be out this game, as he's in sweatpants and a slide and a boot.
Wildcat look, close to the line. They needed to get to the 45. The officials mark it at the 46, 1st down, and Salesianum happy to ride behind that big offensive line. Gabe Medico, Chase Watson, Brady Freebury, undersized center but can really move at 5'10", 245. Justin McGill, the two-way man. At the right guard position, and Anthony Spinato, a returning starter at 265, 6'2" at right tackle.
Last play we saw Odell Teal take the ball. He's mainly a player on defense off the edge, but he definitely has some burst to him.
So a good one here through 1 quarter. Thanks for hanging with us, folks. We'll hopefully have no issues the rest of the way. And again, we'll combine this broadcast with the previously recorded and streamed first 6 minutes of the game. This is Bob Long Sports.
Came with a team, subject matter experts to manage everything that comes with this process. Space planning and design, relocation planning and budgeting, helping you manage your vendors, construction oversight, all with 0 out-of-pocket cost to you. A turnkey experience that adds real value that flows right to your bottom line. Gola gets it. We've been partnering with clients like you for over 40 years, and we know what's important: solving problems, creating flexibility, protecting and stretching your dollars. Philadelphia-based with a national presence. Get to know Gola. Gola gets it.
When your car needs repairs and you can't wait, Meineke can help. With life's crazy schedule between work and family, you'll love Meineke's same-day service. Call today and Meineke will get your car in today for new brakes, exhaust repairs, or your check engine light comes.
Second quarter action. And it's a good run there. That's the backup tailback, E.J. Cotton. To the air. 2nd down and 5. Salesianum's been able to control the line of scrimmage and use LaSalle's aggressiveness against it. Zyke Scott says, I don't know about that. Knifes into the backfield. Good play by Scott, the transfer junior to LaSalle. 3rd down and 7 coming up.
Yeah, Scott did a great job just blasting through that line there. Made a huge tackle for loss to make it 3rd and 7.
It's like Scott's another guy that's being heavily recruited by what it feels like everyone in the country.
Yeah, he's the #1 linebacker in Pennsylvania in the class of 2027.
Tennessee, I think I saw Michigan State today. A lot more than that, of course.
Yeah, big one's Oregon also.
Nab thought about throwing. He'll escape the pocket and throw off his back foot. Terrific throw and catch inside the 35-yard line.
Yeah, great play there. Almost looked like a hold to get outside the pocket there, but offensive lineman did just enough to not draw the flag, and what a dart.
And Jamar Taylor, at least his 3rd or 4th catch of the night. 6'5", transfer here to Salesianum. Looks from Rutgers, Michigan, Syracuse, and more. Gain of 2 yards, up the middle on 1st down and 10.
Another plane coming at us.
I mean, and a big boy, military jet. Tyler, you had the type of plane even. What was that again?
It looked like a C-130. It's I'm not a plane guy, but it's like a big like a equipment carrier.
Cargo?
Yeah, cargo. That's it.
So that's coming right at us here.
I'll get it on after the next play.
That's right. Here's Nab. Stands in a clean pocket. Delivered to the end zone. Did he bring that one in?
Yeah, he caught that.
That's a terrific catch. Touchdown, Devin Hassan.
Look at this throw. Just perfectly laid out there. I thought it was going to be a little deep and just right in his hands. I saw C.D. Lamb drop one just like that last night.
One more look at this catch. What a play by Hassan. Devin Hassan requesting flyby. Salesianum on the board first. I mean, look at that thing. That is enormous. That thing has come by 2 or 3 times already here. Extra point push through, and it's 7-0 Salesianum, and I'd say, Jack, appropriate score for what we've seen thus far. About 14 minutes into the game, Salesianum's been moving the ball more consistently. Their defense has been better, and they have a 7-0 lead at home to show for it.
Yeah, and last week at Malvern, we thought that LaSalle student section was rambunctious. Tyler, can you get a close-up of Salesianum's student section? I mean, it is packed over there, and the main guys that are shirtless with the Salesianum letters spelled out on their chests are on the field, and they were just doing push-ups. So you wonder if Salesianum's energy is due.
I have some experience doing push-ups on a blue track for Bob Long Sports.
That's true.
We won't bring that up. That's
no,
a touchy subject.
Yeah, especially this week. Yes. That was fun, though. We had fun. No one can say we couldn't have fun when we were doing a little pregame show back in 2019. It was before a LaSalle win, by the way, as well. Pooch kick. Squibbed up to about the 25. Taken from there and upended at the 28-yard line. Well defended by the special teams unit.
And, Bob, that's the second kickoff by Salesianum that's been a pooch kick. Obviously, they weren't trying to do that on the field goal, but it looks like they might be trying to do it on the kickoffs.
Yeah, probably a smart strategy to keep the ball away from Owen Johnson and Jimmy Mahoney. Those guys are both really fast and can flip the field in 5 seconds.
Yeah, and if that's the case, they definitely watched the film from last week's game.
Joey O'Brien, Owen Johnson, Jimmy Mahoney. The receivers for LaSalle. J.P. Oates lined up at tight end. 2 tailbacks, Ozzie Nelson and Josh Simmons will split time over the course of the day. There's Sidwar. Quick throw. And stepping out of bounds there.
We have not seen much from the passing game from LaSalle yet. This is their 3rd drive, I believe. That might have been their 2nd, maybe 3rd pass.
Joey O'Brien with the easy pitch and catch. Talked about it in the early portion of the game, but Joey O'Brien will line up mostly against Jay Burrell, who plays at cornerback for Salesianum. Gene Deladon says, hey, we think on any given day he, and then Yaheem Smith across the way, best cornerback in the state of Delaware. But Jay Burrell plays on the same 7-on-7 team, as I think we mentioned, as Sidwar and O'Brien. So they're going to go at him, and it's a great catch by O'Brien. O'Brien makes one miss, and he's taken down by Yaheem Smith.
He almost made me miss there. That was a crazy play. I don't know how he came down with that.
That's just a little pocket in that zone there. Again, you're looking for that zone defense because you have that safety picking up Joey O'Brien, Yaheem Smith covering his end of the field, and it's a really good throw by Gavin Sidwar. Nelson falls forward for a gain of 1 on 1st and 10.
Last week against Malvern, it seemed like every time a team scored, the other team would bat back and tie the game up. So it'll be cool to see if LaSalle can come down the field here and tie the game up.
Defenses on both sides have been fairly stout so far, so that would be interesting if this somehow turned into a bit of a shootout, but like LaSalle's momentum so far.
.8:44 to go. Salesianum shows the blitz, now drops into that zone. Sidwar over the top, one-on-one coverage, and a flag comes in the area of pass interference. Intended receiver was Jimmy Mahoney.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mahoney didn't have a chance at it. He tried coming back for the ball and was just kind of shoved there, it looked like.
That's Austin Thomas, number 9, the senior strong safety. More of an aggressive run stopper, certainly can play in coverage, but Jimmy Mahoney put a lot of stress on the back end of that defense.
Ozzie Nelson taking another break on this play.
So as we look at the scoreboard, 7-0, yes, Sally's, the home Salesianum Sally's against the LaSalle Explorers. Tongues are twisted and everybody's confused, but the Sally's, really good program, playing great here tonight. We will take a quick break as they adjudicate the injured player.
Trust Meineke to do the job right. And families have been coming to Meineke for years because Meineke works on any make or model vehicle. Same-day service, value, and trust. Meineke, doing car care right.
Be a part of the biggest live events. The must-see matches. The game day celebrations. Experience live sports and entertainment the way they're meant to be seen. With Joe Hand Promotions, the global leader of live entertainment for bars, restaurants, and cinemas. Create unforgettable moments that fans won't want to miss.
Good throw there for Sidwar, sitting down in coverage. Joey O'Brien again.
Yeah, so far, Explorers' pass game is kind of dinking and dunking down the field. They did take that shot at Mahoney that drew the PI. Wouldn't be surprised on 2nd and 5 to see them looking for the end zone here.
And JP Oates is a great red zone target for this team.
And I'd also watch Owen Johnson all the way on the right.
Sidwar. Nice defensive play there on Jimmy Mahoney, who made the catch. That's Kevin McConaughey.
Sally's are just so good in coverage. I think you got to get the ball down the field a little more.
I think the one time they tried that, though, Gavin Sidwar got sacked.
Yeah, so maybe it's a matter of buying time, going to your check down there. But that check down was for a loss.
Third and 7 now.
Sidwar over the middle. Pitch and catch touchdown. Joey O'Brien. Post pattern for O'Brien. And Sidwar put it on the number.
Made that look easy. A little slant route down the middle. O'Brien was open by 4 or 5 yards there.
And that's Joey O'Brien's 4th touchdown in a little less than 6 halves.
Yeah, and like I said last game, after not scoring any in the Central Catholic game, he went out and had 3 against Malvern and now has 1 against Salesianum so far.
That was drilled through the uprights.
Just enough. Take one more quick break and come right back here on Bob Long Sports.
More people are choosing Faulkner Infiniti of Willow Grove for the outstanding customer service and the extraordinary selection of Infiniti vehicles. Like the all-new 2025 QX80, it's unlike any luxury SUV you've ever experienced. With an all-new design and groundbreaking technology, the Infiniti QX80 has set a new standard in its class. Come experience the QX80 and the entire Infiniti lineup at Faulkner Infiniti of Willow Grove. To be sure.
Looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Meet David and Kay May, a dynamic team with a shared mission to help you turn your real estate dreams into reality. What sets them apart? Their wealth of experience, combined with a genuine passion for guiding clients every day. They believe everyone deserves personalized attention, fair treatment, and expert advice throughout the process, ensuring your journey is smooth and successful.
Welcome back, folks, as LaSalle is tied at 7. Here's Salesianum looking to change things. No flags that I see. Tiptoeing the sideline. Salesianum takes it all the way back.
Explorers get a taste of their own medicine there after last week with 2 returns, 1 on a punt, 1 on a kickoff.
Tyseer Jones.
There's a flag on the play. Looks like after with the celebrations. The touchdown should count.
Yeah, Jack, I saw a lot of Salesianum players coming onto the field there that weren't in the game.
Yeah, and a lot of Salesianum students.
We have more aircraft above us, this time a helicopter. This is aircraft with the side of football.
Sure is.
Yeah, and Tyler, the planes are likely coming from Dover Air Force Base. It's about 40 miles south of here.
Spoken like a true expert over there.
So there was a penalty on the play. Touchdown does count.
As I talked about before, it seems like LaSalle responds with their own touchdown to tie the game at 7, and then a kick return touchdown for Salesianum. This could turn into a shootout like we saw last week, but we will see.
Yeah, I mean, so far, LaSalle's defense has been playing pretty good. That one there, that touchdown there was the special teams.
Folks, we're going to try something here, by the way, so I hope you'll stay with us for just a second. Screen's going to freeze for a few seconds here, but we're going to try to see if we can time up this audio and the video. We hear what you're telling us, so stay with us, please, if you would. Okay, hopeful, folks, that the audio is back at about where we should have it.
The best thing about our service is that it's free to the public. We're paid by franchise companies for this.
And Pat, to your point, Trey Hopkins again.
And I'm surprised at this. You had a 3rd and 5 in opposing territory. You take a deep shot, and then you bring out the punt team.
We do appreciate everybody hanging with us here. And by the way, what I can promise is when we do get back to the ranch here tonight, we're going to upload the thing in full. The entire contest as we got a whistle. 4th down and 5 for Salesianum. Timeout called by LaSalle. I'm going to reintroduce my broadcast team here real quick. Tyler Kern, Pat Burkhead, Jack McGuire. I know it's been a tough night from a little bit from a tech standpoint, so I'll let you guys let everybody know what we've seen thus far.
Yeah, Bob, we've seen a little bit of a slow contest. It's 14-7, and Salesianum has been driving down the field a little bit, but it looks like they're going to punt right now.
Yeah, I'm really interested at that timeout decision by LaSalle there. I don't know if they saw something, like this would be trick play territory.
I did think Salesianum almost switched punters halfway through that.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing.
So LaSalle will get the ball back here. 3:01 low punt. They do get it off. It's not a great punt. Takes a little bit of a Salesianum hop.
That choice to punt there does not make sense to me at all. You had a 3rd and 5, and you take a deep shot, you know, expecting 4-down territory there, and then you get like a 10-yard punt.
Yeah, we haven't seen great kicks today.
Into the wind, too. I don't know what the thought process was there.
Big drive here for LaSalle. If they can tie the game, it would be great for them, but Salesianum does get the ball after the half.
And you want to see how Gavin Sidwar responds.
Sidwar with a clean pocket this time. Why not take a shot for Owen Johnson? Walled off, but a flag comes in. Defending on the play, number 1, Yaheem Smith.
I'm not certain, but it did look like Owen Johnson might have had his hands. Oh, nope. Other way around.
Goes against Smith. He does not like the call.
I didn't see anything there. I thought that was pretty blanket coverage.
He's got as much right to that area. Right, turning back, looking at the football, as Johnson does.
Yeah, and Tyler, anything we did see, I think it was back and forth. I don't think it was one side favoring the other there.
Yeah, it seemed like they were playing the ball. And, man, that's just such a swing of momentum in 2 plays for Sally's. They were marching down the field. They had LaSalle on their heels. And
that's the second time this game they've had 2 back-to-back bad plays. The first time with the missed field goal and then the offsides.
O'Brien, and a pretty clear hold against Owen Johnson. Just for good measure, one comes from the umpire in the back as well.
Is that 3 or 4 flags there? Looks like 3.
had him wrapped up. Get that man on defense.
So they'll back him up 10 yards. 2:36 to play second quarter. 14-7, Salesianum. Really nice crowd here for Salesianum, by the way. They love their Sal's.
And a really nice stadium, too.
And it's a really cool story as well. It used to be a purely public facility. It was getting a little bit run down. Salesianum comes down, and the Rocco Abisinio family comes in and says, listen, we can make this really nice. They put a lot of money into it. Certainly, Salesianum has all their teams play here, but they still have a public-private partnership, if you will, that's been really good for the community. Good throw and catch. Turn on the Jets, J.P. Oates. Nobody will catch him. Touchdown, LaSalle.
That's a great play by Oates there. I didn't see a touchdown there at all. I don't know how he got the speed off. Look, he just unleashes speed there.
Yeah, J.P. Oates is a huge guy, and he's really strong. Cool to see how fast he was there, able to beat a Sally's defender in a track race.
And that was such a huge momentum shift.
Going over the hands of the potential tackler on Salesianum. And Bob, to add on to the stadium, I have a cool story for us at halftime about this stadium.
I like it.
I can't wait.
Tease it. I love it. The guy knows TV. Folks, you want to watch some TVs, you want to watch some big-time football games, head over to the Great American Pub where Chuck Kempshire has all the big screens going for LaSalle football games, for college football games, and for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm sure that was the place to be last night. Phoenixville Wayne and my personal favorite, the Great American Pub in Conshohocken. Head over there for a great evening with family and friends. Still time for that rooftop deck, Tyler, that we always love to talk about. So let them know that Bob Long Sports sent you. And then the Riley Rakowski and Malloy Funeral Home. Proud and enthusiastic sponsor of LaSalle College High School football. Thanks to Buddha Rakowski, class of 1998. Good buddies with Brett Gordon, for sponsoring our coverage. So when you see Buddha around, tell him we said hello. And thanks to Riley Rakowski and Malloy Funeral Home for their sponsorship. From the 25-yard line, out of bounds at the 27.
And another pooch kick. Is there something we're missing?
Well, some really good returners on both sides of the football.
Yeah, they watched the Malvern Prep film from last week and saw LaSalle's return ability. And
then LaSalle just saw.
Yeah, they've got film on Sally's now. Their kickoff returns. This is a higher scoring game than I thought it would be right now.
Yeah, I predicted at the beginning that the defense for LaSalle would hold those Sallies to under 2 touchdowns. Right now, the Sallies are exactly at 2.
We got a battle on our hands here, folks. Could go the distance. 2:11 to play. Think about that middle 8 stuff that they talk about at the college football level. You start to think about that here. LaSalle got that late touchdown. Can Salesianum find a way to score here? And the Sal's will get the football back to begin the second half.
Sal has 2 timeouts as well, letting it run here. But if you get a stuff here, you got to think about calling that.
There's a bounce to the outside, but LaSalle throwing bodies all over the place. Nice play out there on the edge.
And LaSalle is going to let the clock run here.
Aiden Christie, the sophomore linebacker, but really plays a lot more in the secondary. He can step up into the box as well. Very fast, made that tackle. We're under 50 seconds to play in the second quarter. All tied at 14.
Coach Gordon thought about calling the timeout there. There was a lot of discussion on the sideline as he was staring at the scoreboard.
Third down. Nab steps up. Takes a big hit. Now perhaps they call the timeout, and they do. 28 seconds left.
Great job there by Nick Neary.
Yeah, Nick Neary's a really big linebacker. He's just so strong, and he can really put a good hit on someone.
He's been having a great game so far today.
Also a terrific basketball player. He's going to look a little bit different, Pat, I think, on the basketball court this year than he did last year.
Yeah, Nick Neary was really fun to watch last basketball season. He gets to the rim at a really high level.
But like you said, you both said, he has just gotten huge in the offseason.
I think everybody on the LaSalle team has gotten pretty huge during the off season. They've been in the weight room almost every day.
What do they theme these kids?
Well, Mark Schmidt, Joe Leitner, those folks do a great job with that strength and conditioning program at LaSalle. So 27 seconds on the clock. Struggled with the last punt. This one's a lot better. Fair catch called for and could not be corralled. I think on one hop, Johnson got it back, and that is an indicative signal from that official.
As another helicopter flies over us.
Is there more to that, or
No, not this time. Not this time.
you think he's going to the Dover airport?
There you go, Dover Military. Got a few people commenting that that's the case. Past that base when I'm heading down to the Delaware beaches.
Really is a nice night out here. Definitely windy.
So you think about what LaSalle can do here. They have the one timeout remaining, 19 seconds. Chris Heck as the place kicker. Perhaps you would try a 35 or a 40-yarder with Chris Heck. So you're talking about going at minimum 45, 50 yards here. They're going to bring pressure off the edge. Sidwar steps up and throws it deep. Has a man over the top. And it's incomplete. You're not going to get a flag on that. Just a little underthrown there. Hard to throw it that deep on the run. But Mahoney had a step.
And that's Javian Burrell. Did a great job of just getting in front of it. Letting it hit him in the back.
I know Sidwar was on the run there, but I thought the LaSalle line did a great job of picking up Odell Teal, who seemed to blitz there.
That's the exact play you needed there. I wonder, do you take a knee now? Time is a little tight.
I don't know. You might have two plays if you run something over the middle and then have a heave. But I think, Tyler, your instinct is correct. 14 apiece.
Bit of a flop there.
Just a little bit.
Grayson McHugh.
Yeah, it is.
That's great. That is good
Look
stuff.
at that. Feet in the air.
Oh, man. Odell Teal. Just a little love tap there. And McHugh. Oh, no. There I go. Little gamesmanship here on a Friday night. Quick takeaway from the first half here, guys. Start with Jack McGuire.
I think that LaSalle gained their momentum back. I think to start the game, going 3 and out, kind of lost whatever momentum they had from last week from Malvern. And it's not easy playing in an environment like this with such a big student section. So I think they're doing a pretty good job so far. Curious to see what Coach Gordon has to say for them at halftime.
Pat?
Yeah, I think the LaSalle offense started a little bit slow, but they seem to be heating up a little bit. Hopefully the halftime break doesn't stunt their momentum.
Tyler Kern behind the camera and doing the color commentary.
I'm blown away that this game is 14-14. Sally's have been outperforming the Explorers, in my opinion, and they haven't been able to finish their drives, and I'm going to keep going back to that punt. I don't understand that play, in Explorers territory with the 10-yard punt. Not that they planned for the 10-yard punt, but you get what I'm saying. Regardless, it's a ball game. I'm excited for the second half.
We'll be with you throughout the entirety of it. Thanks for hanging with us, folks, through a little bit of challenge here on the road, but I think we're going to churn the rest of the way there. Stay with us, and we'll be right back.
The process is simple. First, we do an introduction. Then the candidate provides me with information. We have a consultation based on that information, and we build what's called the model. Once we have that model, we'll share that with 3 great opportunities that match your criteria. I will follow up with you through the entire process. Obviously, the best opportunities fit the criteria mentioned above. And the right way to find those opportunities is to spend some time with the people who work with the very best franchise companies looking to expand in your local area. I'm humbled by your consideration, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
They said it couldn't be done, but somehow CCM was able to close this home in just 21 days. Carl, how'd you pull this off?
Oh, hard work, dedication, grinding.
Were you ever worried?
Well, you know, Chloe, they pinned us in deep in the second bedroom, inspection issues, but we regrouped. Knew there was still a lot in play.
Well, I'm sure the Franklins were pleasantly surprised.
We got a good organization here. A lot to look forward to.
Good luck with the next close. And there you have it. Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done.
So, it's time for your business to renew your lease. Or perhaps you're right-sizing or relocating. This can be an exciting time, but it's also a major project to undertake. Hundreds of decisions to make, some of which may impact your business for the next decade. You know you need an expert on your side from start to finish. What if this expert had no conflicts of interest, no landlords to answer to, and a fiduciary responsibility to work solely in your best interest? Someone who knows the questions to ask, the levers to pull, the pitfalls to avoid. Enter the experts at Gola Corporate Real Estate. They've seen it all over the course of thousands of transactions in dozens of industries. Gola gets it. And what if those experts came with a team? Subject matter experts to manage everything that comes with this process. Space planning and design, relocation planning and budgeting, helping you manage your vendors, construction oversight, all with zero out-of-pocket cost to you. A turnkey experience that adds real value, value that flows right to your bottom line. Gola gets it. We've been partnering with clients like you for over 40 years, and we know what's important: solving problems, creating flexibility, protecting and stretching your dollars. Philadelphia-based with a national presence. Get to know Gola. Gola gets it.
When your car needs repairs and you can't wait, Meineke can help. With life's crazy schedule between work and family, you'll love Meineke's same-day service. Call today and Meineke will get your car in today. For new brakes, exhaust repairs, or your check engine light comes on, trust Meineke to do the job right. And families have been coming to Meineke for years because Meineke works on any make or model vehicle. Same-day service, value, and trust. Meineke, doing car care right.
Be a part of the biggest live events, the must-see matches, the game day celebrations. Experience live sports and entertainment the way they're meant to be seen. With Joe Hand Promotions, the global leader of live entertainment for bars, restaurants, and cinemas. Create unforgettable moments that fans won't want to miss. Keep the food and drinks flowing with watch parties that will bring customers in the door and expand dwell time. And watch as these visitors turn into loyal customers with exclusive content relationships with the nation's largest sports and entertainment providers. In over 10,000 bars, restaurants, and cinemas across America, and customizable packages for every type of venue. Make your business the place for the next must-see event. Because if fans can't make it to the stadium or arena, your venue is the next best place.
Next Play Basketball is an AAU program in the greater Philadelphia area. They offer camps, clinics, and private training for boys and girls, 3rd to 11th graders. They teach the next play mentality to help athletes have success on and off the court. Next Play coaches focus on each player's development through high-level coaching and a competitive environment. If you would like to join the Next Play family, go to nextplaybasketball.com for more information. They are hosting spring tryouts on January 11th.
More people are choosing Faulkner Infiniti of Willow Grove for the outstanding customer service and the extraordinary selection of Infiniti vehicles. Like the all-new 2025 QX80, it's unlike any luxury SUV you've ever experienced. With an all-new design and groundbreaking technology, the Infiniti QX80 has set a new standard in its class. Come experience the QX80 and the entire Infiniti lineup at Faulkner Infiniti of Willow Grove. To be sure.
Looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Meet David and Kay, a dynamic team with a shared mission to help you turn your real estate dreams into reality. What sets them apart? Their experience combined with a genuine passion for guiding clients every step of the way. They believe everyone deserves personalized attention, fair treatment, and expert advice throughout the process, ensuring your journey is smooth and successful. David and Kay go above and beyond to meet your needs, ensuring expectations are not just met, but exceeded. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or a seasoned investor, their personalized approach and commitment to service make every real estate journey smooth and rewarding. Contact them today to get started on your next real estate adventure.
A look at the marching band of Salesianum School, an all-boys school here in Delaware. Although it looks like they've brought neighboring cheerleaders, which is a nice touch. Doing a great job here at midfield at Abysinio Stadium, named after Rocco Abysinio, a 1969 alum from Salesianum. Jack McGuire is here with a halftime feature for us. And Jack, what do you have for us?
Yeah, to add on to that, Bob, Abysinio Stadium opened on November 24th in 2020. And Bob, this facility includes 2 grandstands, office space for the Delaware State Parks officials, a modern press box, a suite that overlooks the field, and 2 terraces. A building at the south end of the property houses a concession stand and team store, a physical therapy business, and visiting team locker rooms. This facility also has a video scoreboard. The field itself is an artificial turf field that is on the inside of the state-of-the-art 8-lane track. The stadium has a seated capacity of 4,000 people and can host over 5,000 guests in standing room. And to add on to that, the statue when you first walk into the stadium shows former football coach Dominic Dim Montero, class of 1938. He was Salesianum's coach from 1956 to 1965. He held a record of 70 wins, 10 losses, and 3 ties. He won many accolades, including National Catholic Coach of the Year in 1964. Rocco Abysinio, who provided a majority of the funding for the statue, was one of Montero's players during his first season.
That's good stuff there, Jack. You know what I didn't hear, not from your research, but in terms of whatever that publication put out there, I really didn't hear a feature on the visitors' press box. Did any of you guys hear that? I don't know. That's where we are, and it is a great situation here. Want to thank Kevin Weeks, the tech guy here. Want to thank Kate Godfrey, the athletic director. I want to thank Gene Deladon for having us out here today. It really is a great facility, Jack. And the only thing I'd add to that is it opened in 2020, but it's been here a long time. Before that was a public kind of park. Local teams, local clubs would play here. And it did get to a point where it really wasn't up to the initial snuff and initial quality that it was. And so Salesianum bought the property, put a lot of money into it. Of course, now they're the primary tenant, but they still allow and work with all those other folks and other clubs and other organizations that were using it prior. And it's become one of those really good public-private partnerships that I think we talked about a little earlier in the contest. So job well done by the Abysinio family, by Salesianum as a whole, for putting on a great venue and for having us out here tonight. We got a little bit of time until we get ready to go here with the second half. And Jack, I think you got some more?
Yeah, I got some more history about these 2 teams facing off against each other. So this is the 15th time that these 2 teams have faced off against each other. The first time these 2 teams went to battle was in 1923. Salesianum took that game 31-0. After that, they played each other every season up until 1927. They then took a few years break from playing each other and returned in 1932. They did not play each other in 1933. However, they played each other for the following 5 years and then 3 more times in 1946, 1947, and 1979. LaSalle is 5-9 against Salesianum all time, looking to become 6-9 after tonight. Now here's a statement from Bill Wasilenko leading up to the game. It's been a long time since we played the Sallies. On November 2nd, 1979, the Explorers were banked by Salesianum 14-0. You then have to go back another 32 years. On November 1st, 1947, LaSalle defeated Salesianum in a non-league game 19-7. Several LaSalle players, including Dick Bedesim, had been suspended for the league games due to academic infractions. Bedesim got to play in this one and ran wild for 3 touchdowns, one on a 77-yard kickoff return and one on 80 yards from scrimmage. Salesianum was not a charter member of the Catholic League when it was formed in 1920, but they were its first edition in 1922 and stayed in the Catholic League through 1938, winning PCL championship in 1931 and tying with North Catholic in 1933. The Sallies have been a powerhouse in the last 2 seasons, going 23-3 and 10-0 in their league. Their opener this year was against Red Lion Christian Academy, and they won easily 52-6. This game on Friday may be a real challenge for the Explorers.
And here we are halfway through on that game on Friday. Jack, awesome research. Thanks for doing it. Jack McGuire, sophomore at LaSalle College High School, key member of our broadcast team. Pat Burkhead with us here as well. These two guys are doing a terrific job to carry on the tradition of some great ones that came before you, right? Will Ryan, Danny Rovey, Oliver Gomez, Alex Shevchuk. There are others. Those are the 4 most recent, certainly, and have had a great experience working with all you guys and excited for more. Jack, not going to cut you off because that's all good stuff. Anything else that you have on this one?
I think it's cool. I didn't realize that Salesianum was in the Philadelphia Catholic League.
Yep. Played LaSalle a couple of times way back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, PCL titles for Salesianum, I mean, they were the runner-up in 1933 and won it in 1931. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty good stuff.
Not as many as LaSalle, though. LaSalle has 15 total PCL championships, and they have been the runner-up 3 times.
They've been in the league a little longer as well.
Yeah.
Fair is fair. But that's terrific research. We'll take one more quick break. LaSalle is not even out of that beautiful visitors' locker room that adjoins the concession stands and the physical fitness business that you talked about, Jack. Great job with all that here as we take you through a tour of Abysinio Stadium at Salesianum. We'll be right back. Second half coming up on Bob Long Sports.
Show you a better way to spend your state income taxes and get the money to where it's needed the most to the thousands of qualified kids.
What we like about Blocks is they really know where the need is.
This program ensures that their dollars come 100% into these kids for their tuition assistance.
If you are able, Blocks makes the EITC piece go very quickly and very smoothly.
Turn your PA state tax liability into need-based scholarships and receive a 90% tax credit.
Dunphy Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfort Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfort Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
My name is Patrick Donahue, a franchise consultant with FranChoice, the premier network of franchise consultants in America. FranChoice is a company that helps people find a franchise business that's the perfect fit for them. We work with the people who want to own a business but don't really know how to find one that's both a top-notch opportunity and a great match. We specialize in franchise opportunities with the following 3 characteristics: low investment, high margin, and rapid break-evens. The best thing about our service is that I look forward to speaking with you soon.
They said it couldn't be done, but somehow CCM was able to close this home in just 21 days. Carl, how'd you pull this off?
Oh, hard work, dedication, grinding.
Were you ever worried?
Well, you know, Chloe, they pinned us in deep in the second bedroom, inspection issues, but we regrouped. Knew there was still a lot in play.
Well, I'm sure the Franklins were pleasantly surprised.
We got a good organization here. A lot to look forward to.
Good luck with the next close. And there you have it. Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done.
So, it's time for your business to renew your lease. Or perhaps you're right-sizing or relocating. This can be an exciting time, but it's also a major project to undertake. Hundreds of decisions to make, some of which may impact your business for the next decade. You know you need an expert on your side from start to finish. What if this expert had no conflicts of interest, no landlords to answer to, and a fiduciary responsibility to work solely in your best interest? Someone who knows the questions to ask, the levers to pull, the pitfalls to avoid. Enter the experts at Gola Corporate Real Estate. They've seen it all over the course of thousands of transactions in dozens of industries. Gola gets it. And what if those experts came with a team? Subject matter experts to manage everything that comes with this process. Space planning and design, relocation planning and budgeting, helping you manage your vendors, construction oversight, all with zero out-of-pocket cost to you. A turnkey experience that adds real value, value that flows right to your bottom line. Gola gets it. We've been partnering with clients like you for over 40 years, and we know what's important: solving problems, creating flexibility, protecting and stretching your dollars. Philadelphia-based with a national presence. Get to know Gola. Gola gets it.
Third quarter about to get underway here from Salesianum High School. LaSalle wearing the blue tonight, the navy blue with the gold helmets, taking on Salesianum wearing the whites with the gold helmets. And Chris Heck boots one-on-one hop, picked up from about the 10. Already took one back. That one will not be taken back. Good coverage by the LaSalle Explorers. A great story on LaSalle wearing the blue, by the way, here tonight. Gene Deladon, great coach for Salesianum, was talking to Brett Gordon, head coach of LaSalle, about this game. And Brett asked, listen, hey, if it's all the same, any shot we could wear the blue. LaSalle has 6 true road games this year of a 9-game regular season schedule. They like their fresh navy on navy with the gold helmets. And so Salesianum was good enough to let LaSalle wear traditionally the home blues at home, and they said, you know, we're going to make this our student whiteout anyway. That ball's tipped. It's caught, I believe, by an ineligible receiver right at the line.
Yeah, that's a great story, Bob, about how Salesianum let LaSalle wear the blues, and Salesianum's a great school. My aunt actually teaches there, so shout out Aunt Katie.
There you go. And your dad's over there sitting with her right now, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Rival territory. Okay, I think we'll allow it just this time. That's great, Pat. LaSalle's defense has come out with a mission. There's 2 flags. That's coming way back. Nick Neary got chopped from behind with a blindside block. And a little slow to get up. But this defense is flying around. Also, block was very low, as you can tell. That is dangerous.
He has 3 flags around him.
Here's another look. There's the initial blindside block. That took out Mahoney. And then Neary got clipped at the same time.
Mr. Crow's helping him out.
He's going to like go to him like, come on, run. You're fine.
Dave Crow.
Good to see.
Sometimes you got to really take care of him, coddle him. Sometimes you got to give him a little bit extra, a little swift kick, you know?
I thought it was funny that all 3 flags were kind of surrounding him out there, too.
Now, Nick Neary is one tough young man. Dave Crow has the pleasure to deal with him in multiple sports. As we talked about in the first half, basketball and football. And so let's hope to see that young man come out soon. Number 11, we'll keep an eye on him on the sideline, starting to stretch out that leg. key in the linebacking core for LaSalle this year. And they are going backwards. A 5-yard penalty coming up. False start. That'll take him back inside the 10.
I will say one thing. Sallies are very talented, but man, they have quite a few penalties against them, and I don't have the exact stats, but that's got to be the 7th or 8th flag.
Seventh or 8th penalty. We've seen a lot more flags, sometimes 3 on each play.
10:49, clock ticking, third quarter, all tied at 14. Nab will take the shot. Hopkins has a beat on it, and he had 2 hands on it. Incomplete, but that's really good coverage by Hopkins. That receiver never had a chance at that football.
Yeah, Trey Hopkins is a really talented corner, and it's only his junior year. He'll be exciting both this year and next year, and one of the cornerstones of this secondary.
So now 3rd down and a mile. Need to get all the way to the 38-yard line, maybe just outside the 37 for a first down.
I don't know if you want to be throwing any risky passes this deep in your own territory here either. Maybe just hand the ball off.
Because we've seen a few bad punts.
Defense is the call from the LaSalle section that's come all the way to Wilmington for this one. Brady Knabb, the quarterback, stands in. He delivers into space, and LaSalle got to be careful there. Almost, and there it is. And I am not surprised by it. They don't like the call, but it's the right one.
And that's happened a few times tonight where LaSalle has, done what they need to do to get their defense off the field, and just a boneheaded penalty just keeps them out there. I think back to that 12 men on the field, 4th and 1 after the timeout.
I mean, that's an automatic first down. It would be there on the yardage.
Quick note on that play, Nick Neary was in the game there, so nice to see that at least.
And another note, it was a great hit by Lucas Johnson, just the taunting after.
That's crazy. What was that, like 3rd and 28? And you get the first down. That's just not acceptable.
I'm trying to track him down. I mean, he's not on the field, and that's unsurprising.
Looked like Brandon Murray entered the game. He's a really talented sophomore. He doesn't have a lot of experience, but should be exciting to see what he can do here.
So it's not an automatic first down. And based on the yardage, it's 4th down and 2.
And Owen Johnson came on the field for a little bit on defense also, then got called off, potentially for too many people on the field. But Patrick, we were talking about Brandon Murray. He was playing a lot of special teams against Malvern.
Big play, 4th and 2, and they go for it, and they're going to get it. Not even an issue. Needed 2, and he got full 5 on that play. And Brett Gordon is just stalking that sideline. And a few assistants are very, very demonstrative. Tyler, you said it about the 12th man on the field, unacceptable. That's unacceptable as well. We have planes, trains, and automobiles here at Abyssinia Stadium. First train of the night came right behind us. How about that train? The ball came loose, and they had him down. The train is named Jamel Williams, but he's going to tell you, not the train. That's the cheese, ladies and gentlemen. Jamel Williams with the cheese on that hit.
Man, that was a huge hit. Huge tackle for loss. Looks like 2nd and 14.
Scoreboard says 2nd and 17, but it does look like 2nd and 14.
9:29, clock ticking here, 3rd quarter. Brady Knapp stands in. Pressure breaks down on him, and Nick Neary was the closest to it. He just had to get rid of the football.
Oh, no.
And we got another flag in the area of roughing the passer.
Didn't see it there.
Mitchell was in the area. He's running off the field right now. He'll occasionally play as that fourth down lineman. LaSalle will go with a lot of odd man fronts.
You get him backed up. That's twice in a row. You get him backed up, and
that was on the sophomore there, Mitchell.
And Tyler, I think it was you that was just saying how Salesianum has a lot of talent, but they have a lot of penalties and flags. Now it looks like LaSalle, who also has a lot of talent, is getting a lot of penalties and flags.
Sal had a bone to pick with me there.
So now the Salesianum Sallies, where they had no momentum whatsoever. They had third down and 26 yards from their own 10-yard line. 2 personal foul penalties against LaSalle. Can you feel the momentum here in Delaware? Can Salesianum build on this and take a lead?
They get this momentum, and it's fizzled out a couple times tonight. They got to keep marching down the field here.
There's the handoff to E.J. Cotton. Cotton with a gain of 1 in between the tackles. Third down.
Despite the penalties, LaSalle is looking really physical to start this second half.
Yeah, and this second half has felt like it's been going on for a while, but with all the injuries and penalties, it's only been going on for less than 4 minutes.
And we have likely a cramp there. We'll let the really good Salesianum staff take a look at that young man as we take.
When your car needs repairs and you can't wait, Meineke can help. With life's crazy schedule between work and family, you'll love Meineke's same-day service. Call today and Meineke will get your car in today. For new brakes, exhaust repairs, or your check engine light comes on, trust Meineke to do the job right. And families have been coming to Meineke for years because Meineke works on any make or model vehicle. Same-day service, value, and trust. Meineke, doing car care right.
Be a part of the biggest live events.
Welcoming you back here. And good to see that young man come off the field. Again, just looks like cramps. We've seen that a number of times here tonight. Still a warm evening into the mid-70s. Here getting towards mid-September. Here's Brady Knabb. Pocket breaks down. He got crushed into double coverage. Jump ball. Nearly caught. Good defense there.
And Brady Knabb seems to be in a little bit of pain. He took a big shot there.
Trey Hopkins in there on the coverage, as well as Jimmy Mahoney. And that's pretty good coverage against big 6'5" Jamar Taylor, the junior wide receiver. And Knabb is now getting stretched out for a cramp. And Tyler, I know you like the transitions, don't you? But, you know, I think when you talk about this team, you talk about making sure that everybody's feeling good. You got a little bit of insurance to make sure we're feeling good. How about E&M insurance? Huh? That was so-so. But what is not so-so is Chris Marr from the class of 1989 who runs the business. Jake Timby, our good buddy, who's an agent over there that you can work with. And this is a property and casualty firm that's been supporting us for a long time in what we do. Chris Marr sent 2 sons to LaSalle, former alumni board president. But in terms of what he can do for you, hey, listen, maybe you have a young man or woman that's just gotten their driver's license and you know how bad those rates can be. Chris can make sure you have all the proper coverage at the best rates with the best service. So give him a call at 215-368-9556. That's E&M Insurance out of North Wales, Pennsylvania. Property and casualty, business and personal. Give him a call at 215-368-9556. So 4th and 5, Tyler, I'll turn it to you. Yay or nay on this decision?
I mean, if you're going to commit to it, commit to the punt.
And it's a driving punt. Caught there at the 12. They're trying to wall off on the near side. Got some blocking. Owen Johnson inside the 45.
I'm going to go with nay on the punt there, Bob.
Me too.
He loves to go to his right and get to that sideline.
Yeah, Owen Johnson's a really special player. I feel like every time I watch him play, he's just breaking off huge runs like that.
It was a nice job on that near side too, Tyler. There was a blindside block that was teeing up for one of those special teams players for LaSalle, and he avoided it. Didn't take the bait, didn't block behind with the blind side, and allowed, but I guess there was a foul somewhere now, wasn't there?
I bet.
Well, the blindside block would have put him inside the 15.
Yeah, I didn't see anything there.
This is the second game in a row where Brett Gordon is really not thrilled with the officiating.
You need someone to hold him back there.
Yeah. And Malvern folks weren't thrilled with the officiating last week either.
Now, that was a deep dive into the rule book for that ending play last week, Bob.
Yeah, I wonder how much it would take to pay Big Dom to come hold Brett Gordon back.
Big Dom. Loud as it's been over there on the Salesianum side. That student section is loud as Sidwar, quick throw and catch, and that's it. Nothing doing there. Kevin McConaughey on the stop.
And that's a shame after Owen Johnson has such a great kick return. Penalty brings him all the way back, and then Joey O'Brien gets crushed.
Still second down. Plenty the Explorers can do here.
It's like 2nd and 8.
Sidwar on a 3-man rush, slides. Mahoney is drilled. Hangs onto the football.
It does seem like the Explorers have abandoned the run. It seemed like they were really dedicated to it in the beginning, and they weren't really getting anything. And now they are just...
Austin Thomas with the huge hit. We were told he was a big run stopper and a big hitter. He did so there and sets up a huge 3rd down.
And Tyler, to your point, I don't think we've seen Ozzie or Nelson for a while. And that has to do with why they haven't been running it as much.
There was visible frustration on the faces of every LaSalle coach and player there as the whistle was blown. And it's because another cramp occurred on the Salesianum side of the ball. They wanted to get up to the line quickly, and they wanted to snap it on 3rd and short. Instead, Salesianum will have all the time in the world to set up the defense. Sidwar showing under center for the time being. Now he'll go back into that traditional shotgun look. Salesianum brings extra. Over the middle, incomplete. Intended for J.P. Oates. Well covered that time by Jet Healy.
And yet another Sally's cramp on the field. It's every play.
That's got to be Jeff Meyer, right? I mean, come on. That was Hydrate Your Guys coming from the LaSalle stands, which, listen, these are high school kids. We want everyone to be healthy. Yes, you want to hydrate the guys, but let's make sure we're keeping it in tow here, folks. This portion of today's game brought to you by Dr. Mary Griffin and Ballad Dermatology. This is the time of year after a great summer. Hope you spent a lot of time at the beach. Get your skin checked. Any type of cosmetic things you need as well, she can help you with that. Dr. Mary Griffin and Ballad Dermatology, a second-year sponsor with us here. Appreciate them, what they do for us. You can find out more at balladdermatology.com or 610-664-3300. I want to thank Dr. Mary Griffin, Ballad Dermatology, for taking care of all your skin needs and helping you to love your skin again. And then thanks to Buddha Rakowski of the Riley, Rakowski, and Malloy Funeral Home, class of 1998 with LaSalle. Buddha is an enthusiastic supporter of all things LaSalle athletics, and particularly the football program.
And Bob, once again on 4th and short, they don't go with their Gavin Sidwar play option, but with the punt.
Field position game here as that takes a hop in LaSalle's direction on the second carom. Chris Heck doing a nice job punting the football here tonight.
And I agree, Bob. It is a battle of field position. 14-14. Pretty low scoring so far, halfway through the third quarter.
First and 10 from the 27 for Salesianum.
Brady Knapp fakes the handoff, rolls to his strong side. He loves taking the top off the ball. Into double coverage. And whistles all over the place. We got a flag in the backfield. I think he came down with the ball. Certainly. And there's a roughing the passer. So I did not get the signal. I don't know if you guys did in terms of catch or no catch. It looks like they don't have it as a catch based upon where they're spotting the football from. Far side of the field, hard to see, and I did not see a definitive call either way.
Whether he got his feet in or not, it was a great catch. I mean, he went up and got that.
Double coverage, too.
Yeah, over two people, two defenders.
I would love to see the penalty stats for this after this game. This is insane.
Brandon Murray still sticking in there at outside corner.
Nice run up the middle, E.J. Cotton, the bruising running back, the sophomore.
Yeah, and Pat, that's a good observation. Brandon Murray has been getting his fair share of playing time today.
Another flag.
Another flag comes in. Cramps and flags.
And real quick, Pat, you wonder if that has anything to do with Lucas Johnson's taunting call.
Yeah, this LaSalle team is really talented, so if he needs this.
I saw that, too. There was a bit of shoviness after the play. Looked like the offensive lineman said something. And I think it was Jamel Williams responded back. Must have said something right in front of the ref. They always get the second guy, but this is pretty crazy.
There was no spitting involved like last night, right?
No, there's no spit gate. I think the refs have the most yardage of this game.
Let's see if we can get this as well. Brett Gordon has had an elongated conversation with the officials.
Wow.
It has not been clean for either team in terms of crispness. There's been some great plays, but has not been particularly crisp for either side here this evening. And regardless of the results, I think Brett's going to take this opportunity to talk to his guys a little bit about what needs to change. And sometimes an early September game like this, it's not the worst thing in the world as you build towards October, November, and hopefully for this team, December.
Bob, have we seen Lucas Johnson since that penalty?
Yeah, I know you keep wedging at that one. I think you're correct.
And like Pat has mentioned, it's now Trey Hopkins and Brandon Murray.
Second down, 7 yards to go. 5:09 to play, third quarter. There's the handoff. Cotton falls forward. In between the tackles.
Oh.
And
Wow.
there's more.
There was
one more look at it. And again, we're looking after the play once again. And that is late as that offensive lineman finishes the play against Fandozzi.
That's how tight this game is being called. That should be called all day.
That was Anthony Spinato. Cotton again. Cotton's not going to get there. That's a play you call, though, when you have 2 downs in mind. This is 4th down, 4 yards to go. Don't even look to that sideline for that special teams unit. This offense should stay on the field.
And Sally's kind of, opposite of LaSalle here. They are leaning into the run pretty heavily right now. Running out the clock a bit. I mean, plenty of time left, obviously, still in the 3rd quarter, but
big 4th down. They call it 3 yards to go. Under 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
You can see the cameras being shaken by this LaSalle crowd.
Brady Knapp, the junior quarterback. He's had a good night at times. Can he make a play with 4 wide here on 4th down? Knapp stands in, delivers towards the end zone. Incomplete. Great coverage.
No
and a flag comes
way.
in. That's a brutal call. We've had a good look at things, and you could have an argument for certain calls. I don't think you have an argument for that one whatsoever.
There is nothing there.
And especially after they didn't call the one where he was pushing Fandozzi on the ground.
Oh,
that's Aiden Christie in coverage. He's bringing down that arm. That's just not interference.
The officials should just take this one into the end zone. They've given them 45 yards on this drive.
One more look. Again, what they're seeing is the right arm, but the flag came from 25 yards away. Now right back to action as they go in between the tackles for very little gain.
Besides all these penalties, the LaSalle defense has actually looked really good in the second half.
They must be freaking exhausted.
Yeah.
Well, the majority of the yardage on this drive has certainly come from penalties. A lot of them were ones that were totally inexcusable and preventable from LaSalle. But that one in particular is a huge call in the game, and Salesianum trying to build momentum here. Get a score late in the 3rd quarter at home and let this crowd go to work when their Sallies are on defense.
Oh, a flag.
A whistle comes in. And a false start is called against Salesianum. There's your Bronx cheer from the LaSalle faithful. Second down, 14 yards to go. Line to gain is just inside the 5-yard line. We got quite a game brewing here. Bob Long, Jack McGuire, Pat Burkhead, and Tyler Kern. Cotton's in the backfield along with Brady Knapp. One man in motion. They'll bring 3 wide to the near side of the field. Knapp will go one-on-one to the opposite side. Good coverage. And the flags stay in the pocket.
And that's Brandon Murray, the sophomore we've been talking about a lot. A nice play from him to prevent a touchdown.
Good size and measurables from him. 6'1", 178. That's where you start to see those corners go. High-level corners at the next level. Kind of get above that 6-foot range. Of course, you see a guy like Joey O'Brien playing in the LaSalle secondary. It's standing at 6'5", kind of a Kyle Hamilton type. Now 3rd down, 14 yards to go. Based upon where they attempted the field goal in the 1st quarter, you would think that they could consider a field goal to go ahead here. A lot of it will depend on where this ball goes. Knapp stands in. Knapp takes a big hit. Going up to get it. Good defense by Trey Hopkins again. He's going up against the 6'5" Jamar Taylor.
Trey Hopkins has been unbelievable this game. I feel like he's there every time a ball is thrown his way. He has so many pass breakups.
I know, he's having a great game.
Jamar Taylor pleading his case for a pass interference there.
When in Rome.
And look at this.
They will kick this one from 36 yards away. Aiden DeLucia to take the lead from the middle of the field. Good hold. And the kick is up. It has the leg, and it is good. Salesianum takes a 3-point lead late in the third quarter.
And you love that one after that first quarter miss, kicking that one through the uprights with authority.
Yeah, and I think the first quarter miss was not a good representation of that kicker. I think that he just botched it.
The coach clearly has faith in him.
Surprisingly, as the night's gone on, it seems like the wind has died down a bit too.
The moon's gotten prettier, though.
The moon is pretty. A blood moon, if you will.
Get the moon again.
Attaboy, Tyler.
I got the power.
No land or sea breeze in Wilmington.
No land or sea breeze.
Don't even get Bob started with that one.
That's right. Well, it feels like the opposite, right? A land breeze goes towards the sea.
Is there a river breeze? We're by the Delaware River, right?
That's true. That's true.
The only breeze we're getting is from those planes.
That's right.
And trains.
Aiden DeLucia riding high after that field goal kick from 36 yards away. Will kick it deep or not. That is recovered at the 45. Nice job there by LaSalle. Cooper Halig playing out of the linebacking core, getting a snap on special teams, and a good recovery to set up great field position.
That's a great heads-up play by Halig there. He was ready for that. I did not see that one coming, and he's got some nice hands there.
Yeah, I mean, every kickoff that Salesianum has had has not gone too far. So, way to be aware there.
Sal's rewarded with some great field position again.
And they would have been rewarded with that Owen Johnson return, but then the penalty.
Sitting down in coverage is Jimmy Mahoney. And that is the record holder in the 400-meter dash for LaSalle High School, getting the first down. Gain of 15.
Besides that JPH touchdown, I feel like that was the first yards after the catch we've seen in a while. Mahoney actually had some time to make a cut there.
Tyler Salesianum ran a stunt there as well and got a free rusher in on Gavin Sidwar. Just 6 in the box, but they're still getting pressure. And LaSalle is up to task. There's Joey O'Brien. O'Brien just throwing guys off him. First down. And that's the adjustment, right, Tyler? They're getting pressure. Okay, fine. Throw the ball to where the pressure comes from. That time it's right over the middle. And let Joey O'Brien do his thing.
Yeah, and I don't know how Joey O'Brien stayed up there. It seemed like he was going to go down 3 times. We've also got 2 cramps at the same time now for Salesianum.
It is a muggy night here this evening.
I'm quite comfortable up in the booth here, Bob.
Yeah? Humidity feels like it's at a hundo, but that's just me.
I feel like you can almost see it in the air.
Yep. Well, let's take you 4 weeks into the future to where the humidity is not quite as high, and hopefully a gorgeous 65-degree sunny day without humidity. We're going to throw this on your screen right now. That is the QR code for what we are calling LaSalle Game Day Live on the day of October 4th from 4 to 7 p.m. It's an event put on annually by the LaSalle Alumni Association, formerly known as Homecoming. It's going to be a barbecue from 4 to 7 p.m. right outside Franklin Field in the shadow of the historic venue. And we're going to have Vince Rizzuto and Philly Sports Trips putting on a great pregame tailgate. Then we'll walk over to the game for a 7:30 kick, LaSalle against St. Joe's Prep. You can get your tickets now. Get them early. We appreciate our partnership with the LaSalle Touchdown Club as well this year. So we're going to mix multiple stakeholders, the Touchdown Club parents, as well as the LaSalle Alumni Association for a day of fun, a day of games, a game of food and drink. And then we are going to have an opportunity to see probably the game of the year in the state of Pennsylvania. So we're so excited to put it on. When we say formerly known as Homecoming, we say that because the home schedule just did not allow for this event to occur when LaSalle had a home game. They're playing home games at William Tennant. They're playing them another one at Northeast High School, and then a Friday night game at Wissahickon. So we decided go to where the action is. We decided to partner with the best, Philly Sports Trips, and Vince Rizzuto, who is a LaSalle alum and an alumni board member, So that's the QR code right there for what we're calling LaSalle Game Day Live. First of a new tradition. Be part of the action on October 4th.
And I was going to say the same thing, Bob. Arguably the best game of the year.
After the Joey O'Brien catch and run, LaSalle trails by 3, late third quarter. Sidwar stands in. O'Brien makes the catch and then bobbled it. He had it for just a moment, and when he hit the ground, it popped out. Second down and 10.
Ball had a bit of a weird spiral on it as well here. Sidwar might have got touched. Bit of a wobbler.
It did look like he was about to get strip sacked for a moment.
Probably one that Joey O'Brien wants to have back, though. It's where the ball should be when you have two safeties coming across the middle to try to make that play. That's one where your guy goes down to get it or nobody gets it. Second down and 10. Line to gain is about the 7. Sidwar across the middle. That one's caught. Staying on his feet. Down to about the 8 is Owen Johnson. About a yard short of the line to gain. It'll be third down and 1. And they're bringing in the big boy, Ozzie Nelson.
Touchdown or bust here. This is, in my opinion, 4-down territory. I know it's been a tight game. I don't know. I think you take the lead here, though. I think it's worth going for the touchdown. We'll see how this plays out.
But I don't think that they brought in Ozzie Nelson for no reason. I think they might take a shot at the run game here. It's 3rd and 1, and if they don't get it, they might even go back to it on 4th down.
Very rarely do you see Sidwar under center and Ozzie Nelson more in that fullback type position. It's a tush push, and they should have it. Gavin Sidwar puts his nose into it. Right into the big bodies defensively.
I'm marking that pretty short.
We do not have the spot yet.
Mark that way short. I don't even.
And Brett Gordon is incensed. Lower right corner of your screen.
It was very clear that he got across the line of scrimmage there. And they're saying no gain.
Hard to believe.
Sidwar got at least a yard there.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of was maybe it wasn't 3rd and 1. Maybe it was 3rd and 2. On the scoreboard, it showed 3rd and 1, but...
How about the maturity of Gavin Sidwar, lower right corner of your screen? It was Brett Gordon losing his cool, and the senior quarterback said, okay, coach, we got this.
Wow.
First down, LaSalle. By the nose of the football. Didn't need to be that close. Wasn't that close.
Almost needed to break out the flashcard for that one.
Yeah. That's a great reference. Gene Steratore.
Do you think that they're going to go for the touchdown here or wait until the 4th quarter when they have it on that side?
Well, they haven't broke the huddle and the clock is at 4. I don't think they get this off.
It looks like they wanted to.
They'll take it to the 4th quarter. Salesianum leads 17-14. This portion of today's game is brought to you by E&M Insurance in North Wales. It's a property and casualty insurance firm that can help you with your business or personal needs. Or perhaps you have a young man or woman who just got his or her license, and your rates as a family are going through the roof. That's where you reach out to Chris Marr, as well as our buddy Jake Timby, who is an agent there at E&M Insurance. They can help you with every stage of your life, home, auto, bundle, you name it. They can also help you with your business if you're looking for business insurance. You can find them on the web at E&M Insurance. That's E-A-N-D-M Insurance.com or 215-368-9556. And then Dr. Mary Griffin of Bala Dermatology. Call her at 610-664-3300 or go to baladermatology.com to learn more. It is the time to get your skin checked, folks. And she also offers cosmetic options and many different things to help you love your skin. If you're looking for more information, like we said, go to baladermatology.com. And we ask that you support the businesses that are supporting high school athletes. Thanks to Dr. Mary Griffin for her support.
Bob, pale guys like us, got to go to the dermatologist.
Yeah, that's right. No doubt about it.
especially after a long day of cornhole.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Good tease there, Jack. We might have something later in the broadcast on that one. First and goal, Azir Nelson pushing the pile inside the 5 to about the 3.
Yeah, that might have been Azir Nelson's biggest gain of the night.
And I've said this multiple times already, but we haven't seen as much of Azir Nelson as we did against Malvern.
Second down and goal. Azir Nelson dives for the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown, LaSalle. They take the lead with 11:23 to play.
Jack, you were right earlier, man. It gets really confusing with all the gold helmets down there. But Azir Nelson, great job punching in.
First lead of the night for LaSalle.
Yeah, if there's one guy on LaSalle that you want to score at the goal line, I think it would be Azir Nelson. He is really strong and can run through people.
And they have so many weapons at that running back position. Desmond Ortiz, Josh Simmons, and Azir Nelson.
Bit of a scrap after that extra point. You don't really see that too often.
Some big events coming here in the fall at LaSalle High School. September 8th, yes, that's right. That's coming up very soon. 8th grade VIP visits begin. So come on in if you're an 8th grader. Spend a day at LaSalle and see what it might be like to be a member of the Explorer family. On September 28th, that's an open house, a huge day in LaSalle's world. Come on over and see what LaSalle's all about. Meet the teachers and spend some time where you're going to spend your next 4 years. 8th grade entrance exam on the 4th of October. Before, of course, LaSalle Game Day Live at Franklin Field. And then an evening at LaSalle at October 14th, another 8th grade practice exam, and then applications are due on November 5th. And again, if you're interested in LaSalle Game Day Live, a pregame tailgate run by our buddy Vince Rizzuto of Philly Sports Trips and hosted by the LaSalle Alumni Association. Scan that QR code right now or go onto LaSalle's website to find more. And a bobbled ball recovered at the 13-yard line. Taken down, not quite. There is a flag, though, that should bring this back, you would think.
It almost looked like they lateraled it.
Sean Lewis on the return there for Salesianum. Another young man down on the play with a cramp.
The LaSalle defense finally got some much-needed rest after a long series that resulted in a Salesianum field goal.
Yeah, and if you're this Explorers defense, you're pulling your punches. You're making sure you're not drawing any laundry on this one. Just got to get off the field. But your offense gave you a nice cushion there. 4 points.
Let's learn a little bit about the head coach of Salesianum, Gene Deladon. Deladon, a 2005 Salesianum grad, recruited as a quarterback to Duke, transferred to Middle Tennessee State, and converted to a tight end at that point. Played in 2 bowl games. Middle Tennessee State was 30th in the country his senior year. Started on the basketball staff here at Salesianum back in 2020. That was a COVID year, ended pretty quickly. OC and quarterbacks coach from 2021 to 2022. Actually was an assistant at Oxford University. That's right, that Oxford University in 2017, and then became the coach 3 years ago. A state championship his first year, a state runner-up his second year. And he's done an excellent job with this program. But he's also a guy that realizes that, hey, there is a stigma, stereotype at times, sometimes incorrectly, about quality of play in Delaware. And so they wanted to schedule this game, one, because they think they have the horses to do it this year, the senior leadership that they need to compete at this level. Well, they've done that. And they feel like it's a chance for these young men to show colleges that they can make a big tackle on Joey O'Brien or tackle Gavin Sidwar or Ozzie Nelson in the backfield or make a big play against one of these key defensive backs and strong linebackers. They got every chance to go win this game here at home right now. That's a nice gain on second down, brings up third down and manageable. Catch on the play made by Sean Lewis.
Lucas Johnson has returned to the game. I'm sure he really thought about what he did, and I don't think it'll happen again.
And Bob, talking about state titles, Salesianum has won 8 total state titles in the state of Delaware. They've also lost 8 times, so they are 500. Same with LaSalle, though. They've won once in 2009 and lost once in 2010.
I'm hearing 16 state title appearances. That is impressive from Salesianum. 9:48 to play. There's the handoff. It's going to be close, and they're marking it a yard short. And now you look at that clock, 9:40, 9:39. They're bringing the special teams unit on the field. But if there was ever a time, Tyler, if you had one up your sleeve, Gene Deladon told us how big a game that this was, not to leave anything out there. If you have a fake punt, why not right here, right now?
I feel like we saw the makings of one earlier. I would not be surprised to see something here. A bit of confusion here, too, for a punt.
Maybe there's confusion, or perhaps this is all part of it.
No, Patrick,
they were a guy short, is what it was.
And Patrick,
another punter.
Yeah, Patrick mentioned earlier another punter came onto the field the last time they did this. This is the new one.
Off the side of the foot. And it takes a Salesianum hop. That is a bailout there. The oblong football takes the hop in your favor.
So close to hitting an Explorers defender there as well.
Jack McGuire.
Yeah, Salesianum, the school itself, was founded in 1903. However, the football team wasn't founded until 1921. The football team has had 83 winning seasons in 98 years. They have had more than 160 first-team All-State players. Some former Salesianum standouts are currently competing in the NFL. Troy Reeder, class of 2014 with the Los Angeles Rams, and Brian O'Neill, also class of 2014 with the Minnesota Vikings. And on the other hand, some former LaSalle standouts are also currently competing in the NFL. Those are Abdul Carter, class of 2022 with the New York Giants, and Zaire Franklin, class of 2014 with the Indianapolis Colts.
Empty backfield. Quick one there for Jimmy Mahoney. Makes one miss. Jimmy Mahoney gets a block on the outside. First down, and LaSalle's moving. Up 4 with 8:34 to go.
Man, Mahoney is so fun to watch. You think he's down, breaks the tackle, jukes another one. That was really, really fun.
Basketball guy, by the way, Jack. The big Ragu, I think, right?
Yeah, Dante DiVincenzo.
The Michael Jordan of Delaware. You think I made that up, Tyler? I did not.
Yeah, my dad was telling me about it last night.
5 wide again. 8:12 to go.
Sidwar almost got him with the famous clap.
Sidwar. And this is how you attack the zone coverage. Oh, and Johnson makes 2 miss. Inside the 15. Ball came out. Who came down with it? Looking for a call.
It looks like LaSalle did.
And LaSalle has the football. Trey Hopkins came up with it after the fumble by Owen Johnson. And that ball was out.
Man, if you watch that replay, the way he was holding the ball out, that is not how you protect the football. He was running with that thing like Michael Vick.
But what we were getting at is, hey, if you're going to play in the zone and give them that much space, run a 5-yard hitch and throw it to your playmaker. LaSalle continues to go 5 wide. They'll throw that screen. O'Brien. What a move inside. Joey O'Brien inside the 5. That's a gain of 6, maybe 7 on first down. And he moved his way out of a phone booth there. How did he do this?
Joey O'Brien, the magician. Look at this.
It's like a little elevator screen there, Jack. Talking about bring a basketball term into that one.
Yeah.
I've been really impressed with Gavin Sidwar at the line of scrimmage. I feel like he's always going up to his O-line, reading the defense really well and making good throws now.
Yeah, he held on to that for a half second longer. He was taking a sack.
It has not been easy for LaSalle all night. Give Salesianum a ton of credit for that. But with 6:32 to go, could really put a statement on this game as Azir Nelson towards the end zone. And he's in there. Touchdown LaSalle. It's a 2-score game.
Looked like Jacob Jackson almost picked him up there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Jacob Jackson with the assist on that touchdown.
Jacob Jackson there, and we're going to give the whole offensive line this one. That's going to be our block of the game right there. Big number 66 for LaSalle, Andrew Sorge, playing right guard.
Could drive a semi through that hole they made.
We love our partners at Blocks, where you can redirect your state income tax. Instead of to Harrisburg, you can send it to the school of your choice. Of course, we're very partial here. Hope that you would choose to send those state tax proceeds to LaSalle, which funds scholarships so that young men of all backgrounds can have a LaSallian education, which is truly the mission of the founder, St. John Baptist de LaSalle. So we appreciate Blocks and their sponsorship. It is truly an incredible program. And if you're not doing it, I would just ask why. Talk to your tax professional. Go to blocks.org for more information. Blocks.org/tax credit, where you can find out all about the EITC program and redirect your 3% state income tax to fund scholarships at LaSalle. That is the Blocks block of the game. Tyler, I'm not a marketing guy, but I was proud of myself for coming up with that one.
Did you come up with that on the spot there?
No, we've been doing it for years, of course.
In basketball, too?
In basketball. There's a block in basketball, Tyler. You know that. Different types of blocks. Full head of steam there to the edge, but LaSalle does a nice job to wrap him up and knock him out of bounds. Odell Teal. I beg your pardon. Jones was on that return. So now it's an 11-point game, 6:17 to play. Again, very little has gone right for LaSalle, but a chance here to hang in, get one more stop, and feel really good about yourself, Pat, heading into the last few minutes of this one.
Yeah, LaSalle's up 11 right now, but there's still 6 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Salesianum could easily drive down the field here, score, so if you're LaSalle, you want to prevent that.
5 wide for Salesianum. Brady Knabb can deliver it all over the yard. A really good baseball player, like we've talked about earlier in the telecast.
And after his penalty earlier, Lucas Johnson just showed great leadership. He ran down the entire LaSalle sideline and was high-fiving everybody with great energy. And after the kickoff, he was the first one on the field for defense.
Well, the first two in the backfield were Jamel Williams and Kyrie Mitchell in there on a half sack against Knabb. Loss of 10.
We saw LaSalle start bringing a little bit of pressure against Malvern, which was pretty successful. So I think if they can do that here and get to the quarterback, it could end the game.
Yeah, it felt like they were rushing the quarterback almost every play against Malvern.
And there's a pep in this step of that defense as they come to the sideline. 5:42 to play.
Yeah, I'd be pretty pumped holding this offense to 17. The Sallies have a lot of talent. They've been a really good team today, and honestly, I thought they were the better team for some portion of this game, so they have a right to have a pep in their step here.
Want to play America's favorite game? Where you at? Let us know where you're watching the game from, and we'll give you a shout-out on the air. While you're there, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Doesn't hurt you, doesn't do anything for you, doesn't sign you up for anything, but it does help us. And also you'll get insight as to when we're going live next, which will be all of the LaSalle games for the rest of the year, and maybe a couple other big games, TBD. So let us know where you're watching the game from. Tweet at us at BobLongSports. Like that video and subscribe to the channel. Here's Knabb rolling to his right. Knabb's got room to run. And here he goes to the near side sideline. LaSalle was overloaded on this side of the field, and Knabb made a big play, outran Nick Neary to the sideline.
He might have just converted to 2nd and 20 there.
Bob, you know, one person who I know is watching is our homeroom teacher, Mr. Young. He really enjoys the streams, and make sure to tell us about it in homeroom.
That's terrific. I remember Mr. Young. He was there when I was a student.
Yeah, he told us the story about how he taught you.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Young. Thanks for leaving some of the key details out. No, all seriousness, loved working with him. Loved when he taught us, and he is a LaSalle staple, no doubt about it.
Earlier today in homeroom, he was telling us about how when he was a freshman, he came to Salesianum for their game.
Also, one of Sue's trusty videographers is watching here tonight as he does the Shawnee game on the New Jersey side of the river. So we got PA, Delaware, and New Jersey covered. Want to give him a big shout out here tonight. We can't wait to see you at the next one. Nab to the near side. Yes, that one's caught there. Well done. Go down to get the football. Tyseer Jones.
Looks like JP Oates is rushing off the edge right now. We don't see that very often.
You're right. That is a good find there, Pat Burkhead.
He's a great athlete, so I'm sure he can do it.
Handoff up the middle, close to the line, shoved back. Nick Neary, amongst others, formed that wall a yard shy of the line. And it will be fourth down, a huge play coming up for Salesianum. Getting late early here, 4:04 to play, fourth quarter. 2-score game.
Yeah, it feels like they need to kind of start hurrying this up, but obviously need the first down here on fourth.
Zyke Scott playing off that edge at the outside linebacker position. Williams at the nose guard. Nab in the shotgun. They will hand it off, and they will get the first down. Jitterbugs his way to the 49-yard line, gain of 5. Keith Pinsfeld watching from Ambler, wish we were there. Our buddy at Bald Joe says, this reminds me of the McDonough game in 2021. I'm with you on that one. So many flags against the visiting team. Here's Nab. Nab is taken down. That's
Oates.
your tight end, J.P. Oates.
At a sack and like a 60-yard touchdown reception. That's pretty nice to add to the resume.
We had a conversation with Brett Gordon, and there were a few college coaches that said to him, when you look at J.P. Oates' frame and body type, he is a born outside linebacker. Well, he's playing that position right now out of necessity. That gets him back inside the sticks, brings up a big third down. One coach in particular said, I might do something crazy. I might just think about offering him at a linebacker position, never having seen him play the position before. But Temple is getting a good tight end, and we'll just see if they find any other Travis Hunter type uses for him. That is Oates off the edge, but Nab did a really good job to step up, get the first down. And they'll keep those sticks moving. 2 minutes and 27 seconds to play. The clock stops momentarily as they move the sticks.
Yeah, it's a huge first down there. Got to keep a spy on Nabs. He's been doing that all night.
Nab looks to the sideline. Again, they have to move here. They have just 2 timeouts remaining. No 2-minute timeout at the high school level. Nab rolls and takes a shot for the end zone into double coverage and incomplete. 2 guys right in the area. O'Brien was there, couldn't bring it in.
I feel like we've seen a lot of double coverage for both teams today.
And deep throws into double coverage.
Yeah, well.
When
the ball's thrown that high,
gives a safety time to get over there.
And I was just going to say, I think that's the reason we've seen it, because there's been so many deep throws while they're in it.
Nab does have quite some arc under his ball. He gets it up there.
Trey Hopkins was there once again.
Zyke Scott jumped offside. 2:02 to play. It'll be 2nd down and 5 coming up next. Donald McGeary, the McGeary family checking in again. Still poolside this time with Paul Buddy O'Hara from the class of 1996. Go Explorers. Andrew Bowman checks in from Ambler as well.
And it looks like the Salesianum student section is kind of clearing out a little bit.
Big play here. They'll throw that screen. You go with the bubble. Makes one miss, now another. That will be a first down. So that'll stop the clock again momentarily at 1:50 as they move those chains. Got to move here if you're Salesianum. You're already in onside kick territory, even with the score. But at some point, you got to get moving here. If they do score a touchdown, they'll go for 2 to try to make it a 3-point game. Long way to go there. They're at the 21 as the clock ticks under 1:37. Nab stands in. He'll take a shot over the middle, and it's incomplete. Closest to it were 2 LaSalle Explorer defenders. Joey O'Brien was the safety on the play.
Aiden Christie was also there at corner.
And I know Tyler mentioned something about it earlier a few times with the punting decision where they took a deep ball on 3rd down and then punted it on 4th and 4. But another play to me that doesn't make sense is the 4th and 1 punt down here. I mean, obviously they don't want LaSalle to take over in that area of the field, but you got to take a risk here against this LaSalle team.
False start called against Salesianum. Trey Hopkins, by the way, also in on that last play. Him and O'Brien near that end zone goal line. 1:28 to play. 2nd down, 15 yards to go. Clock stopped.
That's at least the 3rd, maybe even 4th false start against the Sallies.
11-point lead for LaSalle. Has not been pretty. But they can get to 3-0 here with a big stop. Shot for the end zone. Hopkins in the area. Incomplete. More good coverage that time. They keep trying to pick on Trey Hopkins, and he's up to the challenge, Pat.
Yeah, this is his 2nd straight week. He's been really impressive. Last week he went against Cade Cooper, who has a Penn State offer. And this week he's been all over Jamar Taylor, who has high major offers just like Cade Cooper.
And like I said last week, Trey Hopkins was playing great defense against Cade Cooper, and the only times that Cade Cooper made a catch was just a better play on offense than it was on defense. It had nothing to do with Trey Hopkins.
Nab steps up, and Nab is sacked. A huge sack there for the Explorers. Coverage sack. Set up all the time in the world for Cooper Halig to end up getting to the quarterback. Now it's 4th down and an eternity.
Why would you let this clock run? You have 2 timeouts here.
You're already having to onside kick anyway, Tyler, to your point. This is the biggest play of the game. Why not take that timeout? Line to gain is all the way at the 10. 4th and 22. LaSalle can end it here. And they will. Pass is caught, but only a gain of 12. Aiden Christie in there on the stop. Lucas Johnson in the area as well. And LaSalle will win the football game.
Oh.
And unfortunately, Jones went down with a cramp right in the middle of the field. He is in some serious pain.
And it felt like Sally's had the momentum here all night, and it almost felt like they got like out-conditioned.
And we'll give you a chance one more time as they look at that offensive player, Tyseer Jones, to give you this QR code. Just scan that with your phone right now. Register for our terrific event the Alumni Association is putting on at South Green Lawn on the University of Penn's campus. Less than a 5-minute walk from Franklin Field, in the shadow of Franklin Field. 4 to 7, all you can eat and drink before the LaSalle football game. We're so excited to be able to host a great event for our alumni and the Touchdown Club parents. So make sure you're part of it. You won't want to miss out. This is the artist formerly known as Homecoming, because there was really no home date that made sense for this. So please do join us. Thanks to everyone on the Alumni Association for making it happen, and for the Touchdown Club for their support, and for joining us that night.
And I talked about state titles and PCL titles earlier, but just a second to talk about LaSalle city championships. They've won 8 total city championships, and they've been in the game 10 times, meaning they've lost 2.
Salle showed a lot of resilience in this game. A lot of things weren't going their way early in the game and even later in the game. And they just pulled out the win, move on to the next week.
It's well put. It was not perfect, not even anywhere close. But they win the football game 28-17. They're 3-0 on the year. And Tyler, a quick thought on what you saw out of this group here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of talent on both sides. Sally's came out swinging. They looked pretty good, but just had some drives fizzle out. And honestly, they really needed those to convert on those drives. So, I love LaSalle's schedule so far. They've had some really tough teams they're playing. And honestly, I'm pretty excited for this Malvern Prep Sally's game in a couple weeks as well.
Yeah, Sally's really battled today. I was very impressed with a lot of players on their team, especially the defense. I feel like they really contained LaSalle in the first half, more than most teams do.
Yeah, and I think, like I just said about the punting decisions, and like Tyler, you said earlier, the 3rd and 4 deep shot to then punt on 4th and 4 made very little sense. And then I guess it made a little sense the second time that they punted on 4th and 1 inside their 30, maybe even the 20. I just don't understand how on 4th and 1 you can do the punt. And that it was a bad punt, too. It just got a lucky bounce. And like Bob said, it was a bailout bounce. But I think that those two decisions weren't the only reason that cost Salesianum the game. I think that the penalties played a big factor in it for both sides. Honestly, more for LaSalle. So, meaning LaSalle got called for more penalties and it affected them more, but they still hung on. And it was a great team win by LaSalle.
Can I grab one of you guys to come down and help me with this for the interviews? And then the other guys can kind of have that conversation up here. Great.
All right, as Patrick and Bob go to get some post-game interviews, Tyler, what are your additional thoughts?
Well, first, one second.
Once again, LaSalle takes this one 28-17 here at Salesianum. So, Tyler, any additional thoughts?
No, I think we touched on a lot of it. Two very good teams here. This was a matchup that hasn't been seen in decades, and it did not disappoint. I thought Sally's could pull this off. They had the talent and the coaching to do so, but just had a little too much working against them. I thought LaSalle did a good job of persevering through some penalties. I know we try to say I'm biased on this broadcast, and it was challenging for all parties. So, LaSalle proving that they can, keep up with the best, even in Delaware.
Yeah, and about that early start, I mean, the 3-and-out to start the game on offense after a great offensive game at Malvern, and not a poor defensive game, but not the best from LaSalle's defense against Malvern. I thought that the defense battled back from that Malvern game, and they came out and played great defense against this very talented Salesianum offense.
Between Malvern Prep and Salesianum, I'm not sure who will win that game. That'll be a good one. I want to tune into that.
Yeah, we'll see.
We got Brett Gordon down here giving his team a pep talk. Obviously, a lot to clean up before Calvert Hall next week, and then enter the Philadelphia Catholic League. So, have a few weeks to, align with the vision that he sees for his team. And, obviously a lot to work on, but a lot to be proud of today, too. I keep thinking back to that JP Oates touchdown. That was such a cool play. I didn't think there was any way he was going for 6 there, and he just exploded.
Yeah, that was awesome. And about the Malvern and Salesianum game, I mean, that's a huge game for Salesianum. Last year, the Salesianum ended their season in the state championship. They lost. They were up big in the first half, and it ended up going into overtime, and they lost 30-27 in a huge game. And LaSalle, obviously, as we know, got knocked out by St. Joseph's Prep last year. I believe the score was 21-14 in the state playoffs after winning the Philadelphia Catholic League, as Bob is ready to go down there with Coach Gordon.
Yeah, we're going to take you down live on the field here.
Program? It says program.
Yes, it does. I'm sorry. My apologies, folks. Come a little close to us, back. Brett Gordon is with us, head coach of LaSalle. Great win. Probably something where you're going to take a lot back to these guys and learn from. But what was your takeaway after that?
I mean, we talked all week that, when you come into these types of games against that type of opponent, my hat's off to them for playing the way they did. But if you give them momentum early and give them belief, that you're going to be in for a dogfight. So, wasn't happy at all with the first half. We got a ton to clean up there, but at least the second half, challenged them at halftime. We competed much better in the second half. Finally got some stops on defense, and then our passing game kind of kicked into gear. But overall, I said it's a win. It's our third opportunity to play. We've won all 3, but we got a lot of work ahead of us.
Got a lot of work ahead of you. I'm going to ask this on the positive side of the equation. So it is a hot, muggy, humid night. A lot of cramps out there. I didn't see a ton of that from you guys. It seems like something you guys pay a lot of attention to, proper hydration.
We pride ourselves a lot on first conditioning and then our nutrition and hydration. We talk about it all the time. A lot of that's on the kids, though, as well. So we got a very mature group that obviously prepared. Yeah, to your point, I don't think we had any issues with that tonight. They certainly had a bunch. They send a lot of guys both ways. We were hoping over the course of a 4-quarter game that we would be able to wear them out a little bit in the second half. I think that's what happened.
JP Oates, great game offensively. Then he's taking snaps on the defensive side of the ball. We talked a little bit in the offseason about how he has some of the tools and traits and what led to him being needed in that role in the second half.
So really it was kind of the end of the game situation from Malvern. We kind of just re-looked at our end of game situations, end of half, when it's 100% passing up. When we know the other team's throwing, his skill set is something that can be a problem coming off the edge. So we implemented it this week and then put him out there and did a great job.
And then Trey Hopkins going up against their top guy, 6'5", tough cover. He had a great night defensively.
Trey was great all night defensively. It was obvious they thought that was an area they could exploit, which they didn't once the whole evening, thanks to Trey. And actually on one of our big plays, our last scoring drive, where I don't know if it was Owen or Jimmy that was making some moves, Trey had a huge block. So Trey got the big ball tonight. He was phenomenal. And we're going to need more of that from more guys.
3-0, Coach. Well done. We'll see you next week. Brett Gordon with us. See if we can grab Trey Hopkins real quick as well. Pat, you see him kind of wandering a walk along here. Anybody seen Trey? Or JP?
Trey!
Hey, Trey, can we grab you? Trey Hopkins is with us, and you earned it here tonight, going up against their top wideout. They attacked you. You stood up all night long. Walk us through it.
So I knew they were going to test me all week. That's what we were talking about. Seeing them on film, taking a bunch of deep shots. So I was kind of just sitting on that, and then when it came my way, it was a big play.
Playing in this defensive system, what gives you the freedom and the confidence to play that aggressively?
So they kind of give us the keys and let us do what we want mostly. So I think that gives me a lot more confidence. And then just at practice all week, just working my stuff.
When you're in a man coverage look and you have Joey O'Brien over the top playing center field, how has that chemistry developed over the first month of the season?
It helped me a lot. I know every time I'm pressing or something, he has to be over top, so I don't really got to worry.
3-0 must feel good, huh, Trey?
It was great.
Well, keep up the good work. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
A really good effort out there.
Yep.
We could get, I don't know if we're going to get one more. I'll tell you what, we're going to flip this one back for now to Tyler up top. Thanks, guys.
All right.
This is the camera right now, so I'm cutting over to there. Okay.
Oh, Pat's interviewing Joey. Bob.
We lost him.
He's right there.
Yeah, we lost their video. Be careful, that's live. Yeah. I don't know what he did with it. It might be on here. We'll be done. We're on. Where's the camera? Where's the phone? Yeah.
As Bob goes to interview JP Oates.
We have JP Oates with us here. JP, great game. You had a touchdown run, long catch and run for a touchdown. But what I really want to lead the conversation with is you playing defense, coming off the edge, and having a few big plays. Walk me through that and how that situation came to be.
Well, I made a couple plays on special teams last week in the rivalry game, so I feel like I was a good tackler. And I talked to Coach Showers last week and Coach Caputo, and he wanted to put me at DN this week. I got some practice at DN, and I just wanted to make some plays.
And what do you like about coming off the edge like that?
Just using my speed and my athleticism to sack the quarterback. Definitely using my strength as well, and just making plays out there for sure. And I like to hit too, so yeah.
That's good. And now back to your primary position, the tight end. You made some big plays over the course of the game. The first one was certainly that big touchdown catch and run. What's it been like playing with Gavin Sidwar over all these years and having one last dance together? You, him, Joey, and a lot of you guys as seniors.
I mean, it's been great. Those are my guys for sure, like my best friends out there. So we have a great chemistry out there. We play with each other for a long time, and we just go out there and make plays and cook all the defenses out there. That's it.
3-0, how's it feel, JP?
It feels great. I mean, we didn't play our best today. We definitely got to clean some stuff up, but it definitely feels good to get a big win here.
What stands out? It is about getting better and playing your best football in October and November. What do you think it is?
I mean, I feel like we're getting better every week. We just got to clean up some stuff. 3-0 is a great thing, undefeated. But we're definitely facing some good teams, so we definitely got to get back to practice and clean some stuff up and get some more wins.
Well, another big challenge coming up, a really good team out of Baltimore, Calvert Hall next week. Keep up the great work, and congrats on a terrific game.
Thank you, Bob.
Yep, and Bob's just finishing up with JP Oates. Here on Bob Long Sports, our Bob Long Sports players of the game, Trey Hopkins and JP Oates. Bob also talked to Coach Brett Gordon, the winning coach. Signing off here on Bob Long Sports. We'll see you next week, next Saturday, versus Calvert Hall and Northeast High School. Signing off, Jack McGuire, Patrick Burkhead, Tyler Kern, and Bob Long Sports.